family dynamic. Tell me about your mom, your dad, if you have any siblings.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've got two siblings, an elder sister, a younger brother, and my two parents. Yeah. So family dynamics wise, I am the middle child, and I guess maybe I do act like a middle child at times. So yeah, and family dynamics, my siblings and I don't really argue. We've never really argued actually. We would work things out, right? So, but with the kind they're pretty intense. So we'll sit there and we'll work it out, and we'll talk it out in a certain way. So we've never really fought. More of like we've reasoned things out. Yeah. With my parents, a bit different. A bit of a generation gap there, in some degree. But my parents have mostly left us to do what we want growing up, so that's pretty cool and pretty useful. Of course, I don't always agree with my parents, especially when I was growing up. But then at the same time, I think there is a certain kind of respect that we do afford each other in some way at least.
What does your parents do?
My mom's a homemaker, and my dad, well, in his early years, he was an accountant. But now he's also, semi-retired, works for a friend, and still doing that for a little bit now. Yeah.
What kind of hobbies that you were into growing up?
What kind of hobbies? Well, I guess when I said curious earlier, I would go out and play, I would explore, but I also read. I would read trivia books on general knowledge. I would try different kinds of things. I liked new experiences. Found myself climbing into drains, I suppose. Climbing in the drains, out of drains, trying new things, different things, but all legal, or generally legal, I suppose. And yeah, so I spent a lot of time doing those things. But I also like to run. Did that for quite a while actually, on my own, and then also for school. So those are the years. College, junior college, in Singapore. So secondary school and junior college in Singapore, ran for school. And of course, the usual hanging out with friends, watched a lot of movies previously, not so much now.
But you expressed off the record that you're not really into watching movies and series. Why is that?
I don't watch that many movies now. But series-wise, I definitely never really followed any English series growing up. I say English because in recent years I watched a lot more K-dramas, admittedly. And also because Korea is actually an interesting market and an important market for me. Especially after my first investment, I started paying attention to Korea and realizing actually Korea is a very big country with a market of its own. So I wanted to pay attention to the culture, the people. I made a lot of friends there now, so that's doubly interesting to me. And in some way, in some form, all my hobbies, whatever, all tend towards and help me in a little bit of my work, or at least my interests. Yeah. So the English part, not so much, I guess, in some sense, also because it got way too many seasons. So I can never last the whole time.
If I were to go to your YouTube platform, what would I see in the search box?
My YouTube, I guess you have K-pop songs, K-pop artists, but you would also see channel that came to mind is Total Running Productions. You have the Warriors highlights, and you'd see most random things actually. You'd also see Joma Tech. I just watched the one that he released on Do Kwon. That was entertaining. I watch a whole bunch of random stuff. Yeah.
How about podcasts? What are you into?
Podcasts. I listen to all kinds. Business Wars is particularly interesting. I haven't really listened to that for a while now, but Business Wars is pretty interesting. They tend to pit, I think, two well-known competitors in each industry. So for example, I think it was McDonald's and Burger King, or McDonald's and KFC, something like that. Then you've got Fender and Gibson, and you've got also all your usual PlayStation versus Xbox. So those interest me. Then you also, I'm listening to a podcast which is on my Bible, which is a Bible reading one in every morning now. So that's definitely one that I've done more recently. And anything else that pretty much fascinates me. It could be ancient history sometimes. It could be random things. Yeah.
If I were to talk to the 7 or 8-year-old Wen and ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? What would you answer?
Wow, that changed almost every other week. So it depends exactly which week. But I think I consider being a commando. No, I'm not a commando. Ended up being a naval diver, so that's pretty different. But then I also consider being, I think, a firefighter, a scientist. I don't think astronaut really featured in there. So, the usual ones. What you would never have found is VC or finance. You would not have found that. So, yeah.
So what brought you to this VC world?
Well, I'm a curious person, as I said. So a friend made an offhand comment and said, don't you think it'd be fun to run a fund? I thought to myself, yeah, it would be fun. It would be interesting. And my friend obviously went and do his own thing after that. Probably forgot the comment as well. But I went like, oh, hey, wait a minute, it is pretty interesting. So I went to read on the industry, went to check it out, went to events, interviewed, and then, well, I guess one thing led to another, and then found myself in a VC. So, just tried it out, I suppose.
What was the best phase of your life?
The best phase of my life? Well, I think my now is a pretty good phase. I can't complain at all. And I like to say that actually my 30s now feel like I've had a preview of my 30s in my teens actually. So pretty, except now with a little bit more money. So I'm a little bit more able to enjoy things, and my job allows me to travel. I've got a job in the bear market, so I can't complain either. And it also puts food on the table, so I can't really complain too much. Yeah.
What's your biggest regret in life?
My biggest regret in life? Wow. That's a very interesting one. Like crypto related or non-crypto related, I guess, so crypto related, I guess, to start off with, I think most people don't know this, but Solana started off not what they are today. And Solana started off as I think Qualcomm engineers doing what they do, and they were doing 5G tower billing, actually, right? So when we first spoke to them in my previous role, we were interested and we were considering investing. For some reason, we didn't invest. Don't even ask me why. I can't actually name the reason why, because we were actually pretty interested. And we brought them to see like StarHub here in Singapore and different things. But at the same time, we didn't invest at the end of the day. I won't name the price. You can all do your research about that. But when it hit $225, I looked at it. I felt that one. So that one I felt. I generally don't feel it because you can't hit all the wins. But that one I kind of felt for a while. I don't feel it anymore now. But that was pretty painful. Yeah. So I guess that's crypto related. Non-crypto related. I guess I wish I traveled a little bit more when I was in my 20s. But then again, at the same time, my job allows me to travel now. And I think the reason I didn't travel in my 20s is also because I do a lot of church work. I try to be in church every week. So no, I don't actually really regret it. Although from time to time, maybe.
Paint us a picture of you at your lowest point in your life.
My lowest point in my life? Panicky. I would say a nervous breakdown is possible. And I mean, I never thought I would understand it or feel it, but I've understood it and felt it. When you would, I was still in the industry, this was a while ago, and you go for events, and people are talking to you, but because your mind's in a different space, you can't hear what they're saying. Hopefully I wasn't too rude to anybody. Tried to pay attention, but sometimes it looked like their mouths are moving, but you weren't paying attention. So it's like, oh man, I don't know. So you need time to yourself, because the room's kind of like spinning. Yeah, I would say that's a pretty low point. But yeah, things have gotten better, so yeah.
How do you navigate through those tough times? Like, what is your form of escapism?
Well, that's actually two different questions, I would say. Because I think navigating those hard times, the way in which I do it, is that I definitely try and double down on my disciplines, right? I think that's what really, really helped me back then, and I'm resuming those disciplines now. Previously, I mean, I literally spent my time in the morning journaling and praying, at night journaling and praying. I even stopped midday, right, to do that, because I found that it was cathartic, and I also found that my faith is something that matters to me and is important. So I spent a lot of time doing that. And as a volunteer in church youth ministry, so I wanted to make sure that I did my best to set an example. I don't always hold myself to the higher standards at times, obviously, and I fail some of that, but I do try. And I think in the entire period of that time, especially, I'm quite happy to say that I managed to by doing those things. But of course, when it comes to escapism, we all have our own different forms of that, and that's why I say it's pretty different. I kind of numb out at times by watching videos, YouTube, just letting things go. But I think nowadays I also try and go for a run. It helps, exercise. Escapism sometimes just looks like reading a lot of manga or reading a lot of comics, and not paying attention to the world for a while. So yeah.
What motivates you to work?
What motivates me to work? I think man's a working creature, to be honest. If you read Genesis, then you see God worked for 6 days and on the seventh day he rested. So I kind of take that as my cue, that we shouldn't take things too easy in some sense. Of course, how you define work is a bit of a different question. But I think my work is interesting because I meet a lot of interesting people. I mean, this is a pretty interesting conversation to me. Never thought I'd find myself in such an interview, I suppose. But at the same time, I do meet very interesting people, very smart people. And I think it was Tim Draper who said this, that he does VC and he enjoys doing VC because he gets to kind of do all the businesses that he wanted to do but can't do because you're limited in your time. So I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoy meeting all the smart people. And I guess related to that, I think it was Jack Ma that said it. He doesn't need to be the smartest in the room. He just needs to hire the smartest people, or be with the smartest people. And I find that in crypto that you've got a lot of that. Of course, we've got a lot of different characters, but you've also got very smart people. And it's a pretty unique industry because it's very grassroots. It's quite up my alley, I would feel. So that keeps me motivated. Whenever I am motivated, of course. Yeah.
Among the people you've worked with, who do you admire most and why?
Who do I admire most and why? That sounds so... I really admire, I guess, a senior pastor of my church. He's a very close friend. He's more of a brother to me, I think, oftentimes, than really a senior pastor. But in the industry-wise, I've got a few close friends that I've made from the start till now. Shout out to Nathaniel, I guess. He is doing his own project right now. Everyone go check out Avian World, I guess. But he's a good friend, I think, and a lot of what aligns me, I think, is people who share the same values, how they want to approach the space, how they want to live their lives in and outside of the industry. And at the same time also, I've got people who I do some angel investing and some private round investing myself personally. And the person who I do it together with is a friend back from my Navy days. So we've done that. Really quite impressed by what he's achieved for himself. Especially for someone that, even when I compare to my friends who have gone to school, graduated, I would consider him having done better as well. So quite unorthodox, but definitely, I definitely respect him for that. And in everyone I see something to respect, so I quite enjoyed it. So yeah.
What is it about Wen that differentiated you, your approach, your work, in the way you manifest your vision from all these other people who are trying to do the same thing as you?
When you say same thing, so do you mean like VC? Do you mean like, lawyer turned VC? But I guess taking it overall, I suppose I definitely try and stay authentic. I don't think it's common to find people talking about their faith at all in the industry very much. And at the same time also, I think that I look at outside of the industry to keep me grounded. I look at outside of the industry to continue, being myself, even within the industry. If it's within the industry, then I think that there will be many of us, actually, people who are like me. But that does not mean that I cannot do the things that I do or that I need to compete. Sometimes I think we get caught up in competition when it's really about cooperation and learning to work with others. I get caught up with it myself as well, like, oh, hey, his portfolio looks really good. How did he do that? Or like, how much is he making, for example, at times. But I try and go back at the end of the day to I'm in a position I can't complain about. I've been afforded this, and so I'm pretty happy actually. So, not really saying that I need to absolutely differentiate myself either. Yeah.
What is something you probably should do but will never do?
I probably should do but will never do? Well, that's an interesting one. What I should do? I hope I've done all the things I should do. That's a good question. I don't actually know the answer to that. Things I'll have to sit on that one actually. I should do but have never done. Or maybe like actually sleep consistently at 12 o'clock every single night. Maybe. Maybe I should actually get more than 6 hours of sleep. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, so at this stage of your life, your career, you have accomplished so many things. If you were to take a peek at your vision board, what are the things that are in it? I think in terms of the company, I definitely hope to establish Qredo Ventures as a tier 1 VC in its own right, and also be a space in which I think people want to be a part of as well. I hope to see the company grow really leaps and bounds, and to be a part of that, to drive that as well. So that's, I think, one part of it. But I think another part is back to the work that I do amongst the youth in church. I hope to inspire them to live the lives that they should live. They don't have to look like me, of course, in terms of what they do. And every one of them is unique individuals. And I hope that I can inspire them to do what they should be doing and to figure that out with them. I think that's a big part of what I hope to do. And then I guess also maybe travel a little bit more, see the world a bit more. And apart from that, I mean, now that I think about it even more, I'm pretty all the more thankful. I'm already doing a lot of the things that I want to do. So
Thank you so much for partaking in this
Thank you.
conversation, and I really appreciate you.